When I had to learn how to survive in the African wilds, and although I had all the lectures and all the theory was done, guess what? When I got in the veld, I couldn't identify anything. You walk through the bush, you walk through past all these trees and shrubs, and you don't know what it is. You don't know how to identify it. I mean, if I just look around me, over here the red bush willow, the leaves is brilliant if you want to make what I think is the best tea you possibly could in the veld. And all you need is 3 or 4 of these leaves in a container or a bucket of water, and you just boil it. And for me, my preferred tea is from this tree. Over here is the sour plum, of which you can have the fruit, and when it's available, it is very nice to have. The favourites is the Grevia family, and from it the raisin bush. And there's so many of them around. If I look around me, I can see so many of them. And what they are used for is, apart from the fruit, which are, whoa, this is really great, is if you look for a drill, the upper stick, in making fire, you're most probably also going to look at the raisin bush, because there's so many of them and you can use it for that. The leaves, you can also use it as with the red bush willow for making tea. But my favorite is, of course, the fruit. One should, however, be careful. If you have too much of it, it will suppress your thirst, and you might dehydrate without knowing it. And then, well, here is really one of my favorites. I mean, I've tried everything, but if ever you need toilet paper, then the weeping wattle is really gonna make it happen. And I don't wanna hurt the tree here, but this is like, this is like the double ply from the veld. Now, one of the things that you're going to need in the veld always is rope. You can get it from the baobab, and you can get it from the knobthorn. But this is also a very nice rope from the silver cluster leaf. And what you will do is just take your knife and use the inner bark on the inside of the silver cluster leaf. And especially if you've got smaller kind of tasks that you want to do, and this is really nice to work with. And then, of course, one of nature's favorite trees is the marula tree. There's so many uses for it. I'm just thinking of the root system. It's one of those trees, one of 3 that I know of, that if you take, let's say, a meter piece of it and you just hang it upside down, knowing the water is coming from the bottom going upwards, and you just hang it in the air and cut it off nicely at the end and put your container at the bottom, you will easily have a full bucket full of water tomorrow morning. Once again, is it worth it, all the effort? But the point is, you can get water from it. The animals love the fruit, and so do we. So that part of the season where the fruit is available, you can pick it up from the ground. You can actually get into the tree. You can take the peels from the fruit and just put it in a container of water and shake it, and you can make a nice drink of it. And then, of course, if you look around and you pick up one of the branches that fell off, and you need a number of those, eventually you get one that you can use as the bottom stick when making fire. So just over here, you've got these Grevia all over, the raisin bush for the drill, and then the base stick, you can use the marula, which is great to use. And then, there's always a chance of getting an insect bite or a sting in the veld, and I have it a few times. And I can remember once when my whole hand was swollen up, and I was reminded that if I just use the inner bark of the marula, and of course for that you need a knife, but if you just open it up a little bit, which I'm going to do now, and you get to the inner bark and you recognize it easily. It's red in color. And it's very much juicy. This time of the year you can still see there's a lot of juice, although it's becoming drier. You take that out, and this is no different from the antihistamine that you will buy from the pharmacist and use when you actually want to treat yourself from an insect bite. And you just put it on the bite. You can actually squeeze some of the juice out. There's a lot of water in there. You just squeeze it out on the insect bite and leave it like that, or maybe even tie it up with your a piece of material, and just leave it, and the antihistamine will actually do the work for you. If you want to use rope for bigger and stronger construction, one of my favorites would be the knobthorn tree, and most probably use a tree a little bit bigger than this and open it up and take out the inner bark and just take out those strips, and you use them to tie your construction together, and it becomes a very strong construction. I guess the important point is that there was a time in my life when I walked through the veld and all of it was here, yet I didn't recognize it. I didn't realize that I can actually use it. Today it's different, and every time I see this, every time I experience this, I have to remind myself, if only I'd known then. But today I do know. And I guess this is really the point, that we live in a time where we can know. There's so much information available. There's so much knowledge we can tap into. There's no excuses, to be educated and to be taught and to figure out how to do things. What a wonderful time to live in. Yet, and I realize it as much as you do, that we also live in a time of hastiness, in a time where we don't have clock time. We just don't have enough clock time to stop, to rethink, to settle down. We don't have the campfire where we can go and sit tonight and reflect on life, reflect on what happened today and what can we learn from it. And then share these stories, these experiences with others and learn from those experiences. I think one of the biggest frustrations most people have is simply an overload of information. Just think of all the pieces of information you have to deal with every day of your life through the wonder of technology. And I think it just leaves us in a situation that leaders and managers not only become frustrated, but they end up making up a lot of noise in a world that is almost over-managed, over-organized, where we are so pushed for production and results. The one thing we don't have is time just to sit back, relax, think, rethink. And I almost want to claim a sense of calmness. And I don't know how you experience nature, but every time when I come here, I really get reminded of the importance of, stop, call time. Become calm again, listen first, reflect on alternatives, options, and then come up with alternative strategies, ways to go forward. Maybe the biggest challenge for the times that we are in is to understand that in this complex world that we lead and manage, is that we need time, clock time, so that we can again see the opportunities that arise every day in front of us. But that can only happen if we are prepared to manage not only ourselves, but also the information that we have more effectively.